Welcome to Season 3 of the Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Aid.
Hello and welcome to another Casual Camping Podcast. I'm Tim.
No, you're not. I'm Tim.
And I'm Aid then. Oh, gosh. We get confused.
I thought there was going to become Spartacus then, but there's only two of us, so there could only be two Tims. And one's enough, to be honest.
Well, you say that, Tim. But, you know, there is enough of you to go around.
Ouch!
I didn't mean it like that, but you're a very caring, sharing kind of person.
And a fat so-and-so by the sound of things.
You've lost some weight. You're not loads because you didn't have loads to lose. Let's move on, Tim. Let's move on.
You've lost some weight. Not lots, but you've lost some.
I told you I was tired.
I don't have the nickname 82 Breakfasts.
Two Breggy Eddie? Come on. Lily's getting me a T-shirt for that. My nickname at school was Egg But No Bacon.
I actually have you saved in my phone as that. Eddie, Egg But No Bacon. You have been for years.
I don't know why, because I especially like the bacon. But yes, welcome listeners. This week we are going to be talking about top tips.
Tippity top tips. Tippity boo.
Bing. So we often talk about top tips and stuff, and then we thought that we would get together and go, actually, if we were going to give some top tips, what would they be? What would our top 5 be? So that's what we're going to talk about this week.
This could be the episode of episodes, really, where all of that stuff that we try and instill into our listeners, we've condensed it down, we've kind of squashed it and squeezed it, and we've got it into actually just 5 things that we actually know that you might want to know. Of the 70 odd episodes that we've done, there's actually just 5 things you might need to know.
Does that say a lot about us there? So, yeah, there'll be a lot of laughing. There'll be a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff. I mean, I started off with a list of 50 and then realised that 40 of them are all burning things. Burn this. Burn that. Don't burn this.
I nearly spat tea all over my laptop then.
I was like, come on, get away from burning.
Oh, gosh. I've got some genuine social media shout outs.
What? Genuine? Not the ones that we make up?
Listeners, if we made them up, there'd be some every week, wouldn't they? And some weeks it's, you know, this part of the show is just tumbleweed going through because there's nothing to say. But we've had an inundation of social media shout outs.
That's because there are more people listening now, Tim.
I know.
We have almost doubled our listenership over the last couple of months.
Yeah, we have. We are. So hello to lots of new members, lots of people who are listening for the first time. That's quite incredible. Keep spreading the love, people. Tell your mates that we're here. Leave us 5 stars on whatever you're listening to this show on, because that helps the algorithm and gets us seen by more people and all of that crazy stuff that I don't fully understand. But I've got 3 social shout outs and 1 genuine 5-star mediocre review. So I'm gonna first one is Cody Jones. Cody Jones, what a cool name. Cody Jones.
Cody Jones. I hope he's got a horse.
I hope he's sat on a mountain bike, so he might have a horse as well. I don't know. Might have a hobby horse. That's the thing now, isn't it? Professional hobby horsing. Cody Jones, hobby horse.
Extraordinaire. Sorry, Cody.
Sorry, kid. We're not sorry. He's
Could
not listening.
as.
He's not
Could
listening
as.
anymore.
Yeah. Well, we got to give him a nickname. Could as. If you can put as on the end of your name, your shortened version of your name, then that's generally what happens.
Could as.
Could as.
It sounds like a washing detergent. Oh, Cody, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Cody just says, thanks for the awesome podcast, guys. Short and sweet, but you know what? I'll take that. That's nice. I'm having that.
I'm having it, definitely. And thanks for taking the time to write it. My God.
Yeah, I know. Next one's Abby Lydia. We were always told, beware of people with two first names like that. You don't know which way around the name goes.
Why sure beware of them?
I don't know. It's just like you've got two first. You haven't got a proper surname. But anyway,
Abbas. Everybody's getting as on the end of their name this week. Okay,
maybe it's Lidaz. That sounds like a supermarket. Anyway, she joined the group recently. Hopefully, she's still in the group. And we asked everybody coming into the group what you like most about the show, and she says it's still the accents and dodgy impressions of other accents. So we must be getting them right, Ed.
I think trying is probably the way that we would qualify it. Maybe. I
loved your trying to be Cockney, but was it Australian on last week's episode?
Well, they're all a little bit of a mixture. You know, if you just listen to me long enough, I can go through quite a range of around the world.
Can you do South African?
Down there lies danger, Tim. Danger. No, I'm not going to do it.
What we'll do, listeners, is if you send in your accent requests, we will have a go at them.
Around a campfire without recording equipment, maybe. I think, at what point does trying to mimic an accent become racist? And that's the bit that I'm worried about.
Moving on.
Moving on,
shall we?
He said the R word. Oh my God.
Stephen Keating says what he likes most about the
show.
Steve, bloody hell, you are off the leash today, aren't you? He says he loves the fact that it's down to earth. The lads are awesome. This is Steve from the land of potatoes. That's what he said. Potato. It's
not Steve. It's Steve Vaz.
Steve Vaz. Land of potatoes. And then our last one is from Joe and Mark. I don't know, Joe Jazz? Jazzmaz?
You're just saying stuff now.
That sounded wrong.
Joe as, Mark as.
Okay. Just wanted to let you know, Mark and I have been listening to your podcast while on holiday. You have entertained us all week. Fabulous. We have started from the beginning and are now on March 2024. Mark has even bidded on a whole setup on eBay, a Berghaus 600 air tent and loads of equipment. We are going to give camping a try, and it's all yours and AD's fault.
Should we apologise or say you're welcome?
I've had an update.
Yes,
they won all of that stuff on eBay.
Woo!
They are going camping.
They're going camping. Lovely. Well, yeah. What more can you say?
We love spending other people's money.
It's secondary sort of glow that you get from somebody else spending money. This isn't the place to come if you are debating it because it'd be buy it.
Buy it.
You quite often, when somebody says on the group, I'm debating whether or not buy.
Yeah. Why are you debating? If you're asking for advice about whether or not you should buy something, it's because you really, really want to buy it. You just need an excuse. We are here to give you that excuse. Just buy it.
Just buy it. The economy needs it.
Yes, your camping setup needs that extra piece of equipment. It'll
just be perfect the next time you go. That's what's in the back of my mind. So I had a little holiday over the last week or so, and while I've been away, I've bought not just one but 2 kettles.
The man likes his tea.
I do like my tea, although I tend not to have that much tea when I'm away, because normally if I'm having a few beers on a night, it's coffee in the morning for me, where it's tea regularly. But yeah, I kind of did a solo camping, group camping thing, and I've got a kettle for solo and then a group one, which is like a big 5-litre kettle thing, and it's great.
A kettle for all occasions.
Because I do like to just get the water on and go, help yourself. Yeah, help yourself. There's some kettle there.
You do love that, actually. And I have to say, it's one of the nicest things about group camping with you is you've always got a bit of water on. You've always got some water on the boil at whatever time of day it is, up until the beer gets cracked. Then the water's off. The water's gone. But
there's a cut off on the water then.
But if you get up, a little bit, the nice thing is that if you wake up early and no one else is up, purposefully wait until Aid gets up, because then the first thing he'll do is he'll put the kettle on. And then if you kind of go, oh, I'm just waking up. Oh, have you got water? Oh, and you just get a coffee really quick.
Do that a little bit more manly, Tim.
Oh, sorry. You got some water there, bud? I can't really do manly.
You couldn't pull it off. But, it was a good effort. It was just very camp, was there? Oh, have you got some... Oh, what's this?
Oh, God.
Hamming it up. Anyway.
Yes. Meanwhile, in the other place.
So before we get on to the top 5 of both of mine and Tim's top tips, I thought we'd do a quick shout out to the Bushcraft show, which is coming up in about 10 days. Oh, no. It's coming up in 7 days from when this goes out recording.
Yes, 10 days from 10 days from now. 10 days from now, isn't it?
But 7 days, and listen to one of our previous things. It gives you a really good episode or 2 episodes about how we enjoyed the Bushcraft show last year. The people at the Bushcraft show have been very kind to give us a discount of CCP 15, which if you put that in, you'll get some tickets off, but you'll have an absolutely amazing time. The weather here is brilliant at the minute, so we're hoping that they get some really good weather. We got good weather last time. We did get some rain, but it didn't dampen the enthusiasm of the show, did it?
No, it was brilliant. It's one of the best things we've done and loved every second of it. We'd be there ourselves this year if I wasn't becoming older than I am and we having a bit of a separate camping trip the same weekend. But get yourself there, CCP 15 for the Bushcraft show, and you'll get some cheaper tickets. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. I wish. I'm glad that we're going away and we're doing something for your birthday, which I'm really looking forward to. But if we weren't, we would be there.
Yeah. Ed,
that's how much we enjoyed it.
Ed, just be honest. If you don't want to come away for my birthday, it's fine. If you'd rather just go to the Bushcraft show, burn stuff with Uncle Ray. Oh, no, sorry. He'll just ignore you like last year.
But... you're feeling the pressure, Tim, because, if I have to start comparing your birthday bash to a Bushcraft show, you've got a lot of things to do.
All right, then. Well, night 1, I'll be wearing a sheepskin vest and some trousers I've made out of hamsters, and I will be making some basic skill tools. Day 2, I'll be stewing up some nettles and passing that round with a bit of nettle mashed potato, which was very nice, I have to say, last year.
Yeah, Uncle Ray.
I'll wear all my knives all at the same time.
They'll hear you coming. Ka-ching, ching, ching, ching.
Or maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, it'll be just nice to be out again. We've been out quite a bit so far. We have been talking to some other people that haven't made their first camp yet.
Can you believe it? The weather
Yeah.
in the UK has been great for weeks now, and there's still people there who haven't broken the seal on camping 2025. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, I think some people do stick to those core summertime things or holidays when the kids are off and things like that. But, it's I feel like we've started the year really well. We've had some great weather. Okay, it might not continue. It's probably saying that we're going to have a damp and wet or cold summer, but I don't care. I've got all the kit. Get all the kit. I'm going to, even in the summer, I'm taking my tent stove. That baby's going on.
Yeah, I take it all the time. We've had pictures on the group. People are camping down in Australia. People are camping over in the US. People are camping in Canada. People are canoeing in Canada. There are a lot of people out there, but there are still people, as you say, that haven't yet gone camping this year. So get the stuff in the back of the car. Get yourself out in the field. It's what you need. You deserve it.
Doesn't have to be to the ends of the earth or the ends of the country. It just has to be your nearest campsite. You know which one it is. You know it's a nice, easy trip there. If you forget anything, half an hour, you're back home, you can get it again. Do that. Break the seal. Get out there. But you know what happens once you break the seal and you have a good time? You want to do it again.
Yeah, I am itching. I have to say, we've had some really nice.
You can get creams for that, Tim.
Hey, you're too quick tonight, Ed.
I tell you, I've had a very hard day at work, and I almost feel drunk with it. I haven't been drinking at all, just in case anybody from work's listening. I don't. Not on a working day.
No. But no, you're so quick. You're going to cut yourself on that, Tom.
Oh. Well, talking of Canada, we had a new experience this last week or so, didn't we, Tim?
We did. We've had a few guests on the show, and last week's episode was great. And we had our sister on, who's sorting out women's wild camping in Scotland, the Facebook group, and does lots of wild camping up in north of the border. But we, for the first time ever, we've been interviewed ourselves on another podcast, on another camping podcast, which was, to be honest, I was quite nervous, and I felt a bit funny doing it, but it was good. It was good fun, wasn't it? We relaxed into it. We had a laugh.
Yeah. So Tim and Pam from
Really Good Camping.
Really Good Camping. Thank you. I was tripping over my words there. They made us feel very welcome and just wanted to talk to us about how we got started doing our thing and, the journey that we're on. We got to talk to them about their camping, and it was just a really good conversation. So check out. It'll be released in a couple of weeks' time, or maybe a little bit longer, towards the end of June. But do check out their podcast if you're wanting a fix on camping. Do not leave ours.
Yeah.
Don't be cheating on us with somebody else's podcast. We want. I don't know what a threesome there.
I'm gonna say. I'm not sure where you're going here. You're going to get yourself.
Yeah, no. I was like, we want. Yeah, we can all just, together.
Let's all just have fun together. No, Tim and Pam were
camping pan. That's what that.
Only pans. Oh God!
What did I say? Pansexual. So a camping version of it is camping pans.
Oh, Eddie. What's your sexual orientation? Camping. That's open for interpretation.
Wigwam.
Bell? No.
Okay. Yes, we've gone too far. Right.
Really good camping. It's a really good show. It's very gentle compared to ours, and I have to say it's one that I've listened to for a long time, and it's a really lovely show. So go and have a listen. We'll let you know when our episode's on there, and. But as Eddie says, don't. You're allowed to cheat on us, but you must stay with us at the same time. We don't mind you having friends with benefits, but stay with us.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Tim and Pam who made us feel very welcome. So thank you guys.
Yeah, cool. So
I feel like a radio host today. It was like, let's do all the things. Hey, pop pickers.
You're sounding really pro. To be honest, it's well done. We're do you know what tomorrow is?
Ooh.
Oh, actually, so not tomorrow, but the day that this episode goes out, it's actually our birthday for the podcast. So although we're in our third season, we started our first season a little bit late. So actually, the day this goes out is our 2-second birthday for the podcast.
Wow. What's 2 in regards to anniversary, Tim? Let's hope it's something like 10 pegs. Guy rope.
Yeah, it's not going to be a lot, is it? It's not going to be a lot. It might be a plastic spork.
Yeah. Zipper pulls.
Yeah.
There's a conversation for the group. What would be the anniversaries going from 1 to 50? God.
That's a good one to do because one of us is 50 in a few weeks' time. So I get the star prize. What is it? 10 pegs.
I was gonna say, well, if I'm right in that, 50 is make a donation to charity.
And would that be AIDS be a charity?
Yeti have a new foundation.
Oh God.
Anyway, it's like a cult, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, it is. It is really. It is.
So, as we were saying over the last couple of weeks, we want to try and be a little bit snappy. We've just gone off on a tangent because we like talking to each other, haven't we?
We haven't actually spoken a bit since last week's recording. So this is why we're just.
This is our catch up. Hopefully you've got people out there or interact with us. We're on all the socials. Tim's been putting loads of videos up and loads of stuff. So as have people in the group. People are on a buying frenzy. They know the summer's coming and they want to buy stuff.
Get it bought, everybody. Get it bought.
Is it wrong that I heard Yeti then? Get it bought, Yeti. Yeti bought. Okay. Tim told me. There's my excuse.
The voices in your head only say Yeti.
So, come on then. Let's get on with these.
Let's get on with this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, people, if this isn't, a list of what you guys just need, then who knows? We obviously don't know.
We don't. Well, yeah.
If it's not in this list, then
it's just not. It's not worth knowing. If we thought about writing a book, but there'd only be 10 things in it, five from each of us, so it'd be quite a short book, probably a pamphlet.
Five pages.
Most of that's pictures. We could do lift the flap or scratch and sniff. My first
Must resist saying anything more now.
I love setting you up with something slightly awkward, knowing that you're dying to say something but can't.
Can't get words out quick enough. That's the word that I need. Sorry, I'm busting the levels there.
Oh, you're busting the move, busting the groove. So I've got 5. You've got 5. These my 5 aren't in any particular order. They're just top tips. Do you want me to do all my 5, or do you want to do one each? What would you like to do, Aid?
We did a countdown of quite a few things the last time when we were doing what have you bought at the fair, at the camping show that we went to.
Oh yeah.
Whereas a top 5, I think we could do one all and explain it, one each.
Okay.
I have put mine in sort of a bit of an order. No,
Okay.
Number 1 is number 1 for me, but So yeah, let's go backwards, 5 to 1.
Oh, well, mine aren't in an order, but I have numbered them. So now you're just messing with my OCD.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'll do it the other way around then. So what I've written down as number 5, but this isn't the least important. There is no importance to mine. I'll go first, and I'd put down buy the best quality gear you can afford, and if that means the best gear you can afford is a £50 second-hand tent from eBay, then that's great. But buy that. Don't be tempted to buy the £20 second-hand tent off eBay, because it's not going to be as good as a £50 second-hand tent off eBay. But if you can spend a couple of £100 in a tent, spend a couple of £100 in a tent, or if it's a stove or whatever piece of gear it is that you're looking at, buy the best quality piece of gear that you're looking for. And don't feel bad that you can't buy the £700 Hilleberg tent. If your budget allows for £100 or £150, you're going to get something that's good for that. But do some shopping. Go around, be a bit savvy. You don't necessarily have to buy high street prices. You can ask for discounts. We've said go to shows and things like that, because you will get them cheaper those places. Do look for pre-loved stuff that's been well looked after, because particularly high quality gear of good brands, those people who buy those at full price tend to really look after them. And even second-hand, they're going to be really good pieces of kit. So try and, for the money that you've got, because not everyone is Aid and wants to, spend thousands of pounds on this stuff. Whatever money you've got, be savvy with where you're spending it and buy the best quality gear that you can afford, and be happy with it. And it will perform for you. Then it won't let you down as much as Don't scrimp on stuff. Buy the best quality pieces you can.
Brilliant top tip, that. And I always remember years ago looking at Snow Peak stuff before I actually bought any of it, had certain bits, could afford this or couldn't afford that, or had to sell something. And now, actually, a few years later, I've got the kit that I was sort of aspiring to have.
Yeah.
It doesn't all come at once. But, it depends. I mean, we are unashamedly gear people. We like new stuff. We like, the way that, you get a new gear list come out at the beginning of each year as like what to expect, new colorways. And I'm a marketing person's dream, because I'll go, look, but it's in blue.
There was a really lovely and quite funny chat in the group this week. That was somebody was looking at snow. They'd been in the Snow Peak store in London, and they were looking at stuff, and it was like so unbelievably expensive, but they came out feeling like Yeti was a bargain, so they were going to go and buy Yeti. And I went, that's how AD started.
and it really, I think you were being funny, but it literally was. So the Snow Peak cooler, it was before the cooler, the American style coolers were all over the world. So there were 2 brands that really started it for me, Grizzly and Yeti. And I really liked the different colorways that Grizzly did. And I think the Snow Peak cooler is a Grizzly cooler. And so it's about $400, but Snow Peak charged £600 for it.
Yes,
but
they
it's
do.
Grizzly that make it, and that's the thing that even for me, I just go, yeah, they've got the prices wrong on certain things, and actually I'll go somewhere else. So I won't always just buy brands because I like them, but you're right. It was exactly how I started with my things. So, okay. So number 5 for me is take care of that kit when you get it, whether it's expensive, whether it's not. You look after it. It has an inherent value to somebody else. So should you upgrade and you've looked after it, brilliant. There's a value there to it. Hopefully, you've not been caught in a storm and it's ripped and whatever, but air out your tent. We've camped with loads of our friends that are not campers and not in our way. And as soon as they go home, they stuff it in a bag and then expect it to be all right the next time that they come out. And it's mildewed and muddy and whatever else. Tents specifically need a bit of care and attention. It is about making sure that you air them out when you get home, even if it's been dry. There's very few times that I won't, because they're normally sat on ground that can get particularly damp, even though you might have not had any rain. The bottom of your tent still can. So look after it, clean your pots and pans. I have a tent stove and, I clean the glass up when I come home and make sure that that's okay. The pipes need a clean out. All those things that just make sure that, even a sleeping bag, you roll that up to come home. I air it out because, actually, if you've been hot overnight and stuff, there's some residual dampness within that. So,
And
so yeah.
my sleeping bag and a lot of quality sleeping bags come with 2 bags. So they come with a compression sack that it goes in to take it away, so it doesn't take up loads of room. But specifically with a sleeping bag, they tend to come with a larger bag then for when you're storing it. It goes in the larger bag, so it's got room to breathe and it doesn't get all compressed and the fibers don't get squashed. So it's going to work. Don't leave things like that, all compressed. If you've got self-inflating mats, undo the valves and roll them out. If that means they go under a bed or you hang them in a wardrobe or wherever, they're just not going to perform for you as well if you don't look after them in between times.
Yeah, I think, and that's it's the difference between something lasting you a couple of years and 10 years.
Yeah.
It really is. They say that with the compression sacks for tents and stuff, that over winter you should just put them out on a shelf so that they're not, that ripstop fabric, if it's constantly folded over and, actually back on itself, can leave a crease that then eventually will just be a weak spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, those that would be my first top tip. Look after your kit. You spent a lot of money on it, or not even if you've not spent an awful lot of money, but you should just look after it.
Yeah. You can't expect it to look after you on the next camping trip if you didn't take care of it in between times. It's I think it's brilliant top tip, Eddie. Brilliant.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Phew. I was worried there. Like, I don't know what he's talking about.
My next one's a little bit more simple. Never scrimp on snacks. Never scrimp on snacks. I used to do lots of sort of try and do meal planning and things like that and going away and what am I going to have for breakfast and what am I going to have for lunch and what am I going to have for my tea and you'd buy the food for that. But when you're camping, certainly when I'm camping, I'm more of a grazer. I kind of just want to just kind of graze all the time, and I still want my main meals, but I just kind of want to be nibbling on stuff the whole time. And when I've not taken snacks or I've forgotten snacks or I've just not taken enough, and I'm there for a few extra days, I'm just like, I really just want some crisps now, or I really just want some Haribo, or I wish I'd brought some marshmallows to toast on the fire, or it's always, or some biscuits to dunk in
It's
my
keeping
tea.
yourself busy, isn't it?
Yeah,
As
yeah.
well as, because that's the thing, it's if you consider if you're at home, you're watching telly, you're cooking, you're fixing something in, or you're cutting the lawn, all those things just go by that, you're out in the wilderness, hopefully, or on a campsite, and you've got things to do. So snacks, yeah, I sometimes talk myself out of snacks and go, oh no, I'll be good. And then you go, yeah, until you've had 2 beers, and now it's like, why didn't I pick up that extra large pack of crisps and the nuts and other things?
That's exactly what I was going to say. The you might burn through most of your snacks during the day, and then you start drinking, and then it gets a little bit later, and you're like, I really want some snacks now. I really want some peanuts. I really want, it's never scrimp on snacks.
It's
Always
a mini
bring more.
break.
Yeah,
you're out camping. It's a break. Why wouldn't you?
Calories don't count when camping.
Oh. Wait on. The National Health Service will have something to say about you. You'll get a strike against your name, Tim. One of our own has turned.
Calories do not count when camping, people.
Brilliant. I really like that one. Yes, I do need to take more of a heed of that one. So my number 4 would be splash the cash on key bits.
Okay. Cool.
So, like you were saying about, spend, buy the best quality gear that you can do. If you're hankering after certain things, sometimes buying the cheapest isn't always the best.
Mm.
People don't have massive amounts of money to just go, I wish I did, to be able to go to the Snow Peak thing and go, I'll have the lot. But I've talked about it in the past. My Snow Peak folding fire pit is the best bit of kit that I've ever had. I must have had it, the best part of 20 years now.
Yeah.
Certainly 15. And it's just, I think it cost me a couple £100 at the time. It's up to about £300 now. But that's, to get that many, how many fire pits have other people had? How many barbecues have you had? How many, all of those things. And this is just, it keeps on going. Yeah. It goes with me every time I go camping, or mostly every time. So sometimes, it's worth spending that little bit extra. It's kind of how my mentality works in regards to justifying a cooler. Well, you know what? Is this do I want, I've had cheaper coolers that the ice didn't last more than a night in it, so I've not messed around with I've just gone with the one that I knew that I really liked, and I went for it. So sometimes, whether that is the tent, whether that's your sleeping bag, whether it's those key bits of gear, whatever you're into, but sometimes that's just the bit that it makes you sort of quite happy when you get that out and you get to play with it.
And don't you find that that's like a gateway piece of equipment to upgrading all of your equipment? Because actually, if you kind of persuade yourself that you need that really expensive one thing and it looks beautiful, it then somehow psychologically makes it okay to then kind of add something else to it a little bit later down the line. And you've got to be sensible. You've got to be able to afford this stuff, and you've got to be sensible with your money. But once you get one high quality piece that's like really quite expensive, whether that's a Yeti cooler or a Snow Peak thing or whatever it is, there are premium brands out there. It's like a gateway piece that you then end up kind of going, well, I'll add that to it, and I'll add that to it, and then people see that actually, if you're into the outdoors, you're into camping, people want to know what to buy you for Christmas and birthdays and things like that. They often buy you really crap things of quite low level, because it's like they don't really know and they think you'll like it. But once they can see that actually there's a premium brand or a premium piece that you're after, then people start to congregate your presence around those premium things. So it's very much
Honestly,
a gateway present to yourself.
yeah, it's as the episode that we did around branding, really. I've got family and friends that know the things I like, and hopefully there's things within price ranges that anybody could buy you who's not going to love any bit of Yeti, whether it's a mug, a cooler, a loadout box. There's a price range for everybody there. So
no, cool, very cool. I like that one. My next one is master one pot cooking. And
I'll say that quick.
I know. Hey, master one pot cooking, people. And
what are you putting in that pot? One pot. Yeah, okay.
Thanks. But just, I started camping, and predominantly you take a load of burgers and a load of sausages and things like that, and you're kind of trying to cook on barbecues and everything. But actually, if you can master cooking a decent meal with one pot, one, it keeps all your washing down. It means that you can go hiking and through hiking, but still eat really well without having to just eat, survival food that's just putting fuel in, and a load of noodles. One pot cooking is it means you eat interesting food that's really tasty, but actually you're just doing it all in the one pot. And whether that's a pasta dish, whether that's a chili and a rice, whether that whatever it is, whatever you like to eat, try and master one pot cooking, because it was a gateway for me to eat better camping food. And now, yes, I've got twin burners and all sorts of stuff, but actually, even on the Jetboil Genesis, I've now got a 5 litre pot, and actually I still do one pot cooking with it, because actually it's just the way that I've kind of taught myself how to cook out in the field. But it's a really good way, I found anyway. It's a really good way to elevate me away from just burgers and sausages and killing things on a barbecue, to actually cooking really nice, well cooked, tasty food out in the field, all in just the one pot. And I can do that if I'm hiking and walking through somewhere, or whether I've got a bit of a base camp, and it's just changing your mindset of how you're cooking out in the field.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to the choice that you make when you're buying stuff. The microwave rice, you can do that on a pan. You add a teaspoon of water, you add it to a sauce, you've got Korean rice going on. If you buy the fresh pasta, it only takes a minute in the boiling water. It's much, much better. So make some choices about that. But you're definitely right. And anything that saves on washing up, boom.
Totally. I hate washing up when I'm camping, because it never really gets properly clean. I mean,
I'll do it when I get home. Just throw it in the bowl. I'll do it when I get home.
Yeah. I'll wash it in between times, but actually at the end of the trip, it all goes in a bowl, and it goes in the house. Back to your point of look after your stuff. One of the first jobs, once I've emptied the car and got all the main camping stuff away, is I stand in the kitchen and I wash absolutely everything that I've used, because it needs a really good wash and dry before it then gets put away again. But it's really nice just using one pot and doing that, and not having loads of stuff.
Yeah. Well done. Okay. Well, for me, a tarp.
Oh, a tarp?
A tarp.
Eight harps.
8 of them, please. Yes.
8 harps. You want 8 harpists coming camping with you. 8's top tip. He travels everywhere with 8 harpists.
Bling, 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 bling. No, so a tarp. I bought a tarp years ago, and I found it difficult to put up, first of all. And so I used it once or twice, and then I lent it to a friend and didn't use it for about 2 years. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that again, and got used to it. and loved it. And then it came camping every time. We'd had like little gazebos as friends when we first started camping, just in case the weather turned. And then actually, a tarp is really useful because you can use it as a windbreak as well as a protection for the rain or anything like that. It just helps the enjoyment, whatever the weather happens to be.
It's a massively versatile piece of equipment as a tarp.
Yeah.
It really is. I always bring a tarp now. It always comes away because it just, the camping, I don't know, not the last time we went, but the time before, I'd taken the little tiny tent, the little Vord tent.
Yes.
And I'm staying with Vord. I don't care about Vord A. It's so I've taken the little Vord tent and I put the tarp. It wasn't going to rain, but it's just a nice sort of sun shelter because it was going to be really, really sunny, and it was somewhere to put the kitchen and those bits. It's just a great versatile piece of equipment.
And you can get some really cheap ones. You can get some really expensive ones. I've got a waxed cotton that is Lily bought me for Christmas a couple of years ago.
Somebody bought you that.
I was telling a story and I was like, oh no, she ain't listening, but and that is a lovely waxed cotton made in the UK. It's a beautiful bit of kit. It's not over big. It's quite heavy, but it goes really well with the swag. It's just enough for that and it looks great. And like the one that you used on hammock camping, that was came with the hammock. But that was a massive one. And in a rainstorm, that'd keep you perfectly dry.
Yeah.
Being able to shelter somewhere. So, get used to having a tarp with you because then you're outside. You don't want to be just sat in a tent. And if you're in a small tent, actually having some outdoor space.
It's really important. It's really nice to be able to sit under something dry.
Yeah.
That's not squashed in your tent, particularly if there's a couple of you and you're in a little hiking tent. It's really nice to have somewhere outside where you can just sit and cook and not get wet. What I would say is invest in some decent poles and invest in learning how to tie knots, because sometimes I take a tarp and I don't put poles up, or I might use one pole and the rest of the time it's the other corners are tied to bits of tree and stuff like that. You kind of gotta know your knots a little bit, and I bought some purpose poles for mine, so I've got 4 poles that come in a separate bag, and they're just a bit stronger. I've had cheap tarp poles before, and they buckle in the wind. What are you just saying? What are you laughing at?
No, it's just how my mind works. She went, I bought some purpose poles, and I was like, aren't they Polish?
Oh. And you.
So I was like, oh, Tim's got some fellas that just come and stand. Sorry, if that sounded a bit too.
Yes, it did.
Oh, my! You have to edit that out.
We don't edit.
Oh God.
Oh dear. No, great idea though. Great idea to get a tarp and give yourself a bit of protected dry space.
Yeah, but like you say, even in the sun, you need a bit of shade.
Yeah,
and they're great on the beach as well.
Yeah, there's a video on our socials. I was out at the beach a couple of weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and I was making coffee. It was quite windy, and I did think, I really wish I'd brought a tarp because it doesn't weigh anything, and I could have just had a couple of poles and we'd have had a windbreak. And the jet boil did great though, still boiled the water really quickly, but it was windy as heck. I was getting pebble dashed really by the sand. I was getting.
You were looking younger.
I know, exfoliated. I look beautiful. It's taken years off.
Go on then. What we down to?
I'm on number 2 of mine, and my number 2 is I've said this many times, so it won't come as a surprise to regular listeners. Get your ass off the ground. It's I'm a big fan of a camp bed. Getting your ass off the ground when you're sleeping is going to be the best thing you can do. And whether that's in a camp bed or a hammock, I've now learned is so comfortable. But if you just lose so much heat to the ground that you can spend an awful lot of money on self-inflating mats and bits of, heat mats and all sorts of things that are kind of trying to insulate you from the ground when you're sleeping on the ground. But actually, the easiest thing to do is to just get your ass off the ground and get yourself on a camp bed or something else, and just it will be, you will have a much warmer night's sleep, a much more comfortable night's sleep.
Yep.
Don't use those air beds that are just big bags of air, because the ground will just freeze the air and you'll still have a really cold ass. So
yeah, how many times have we seen people with those, and they look really good, but they are just rubberized, quite large, 10, 15 centimeter air beds,
but they're rubbish.
Got no R rating whatsoever, and
No.
unless you're in the middle of the summer, and most of them go down really quickly because they're just heat sealed seams.
Yeah. They're just rubbish.
So,
They're just rubbish. And even in summer, the ground will feel cold in the middle of the night. So get your ass off the ground, people. Invest, if you, Aid's top tip of investing in one decent piece of kit, make that something you're going to sleep on, because actually we've talked long and hard about comfort when camping. Getting your ass off the ground is all about comfort, and it'll give you a comfortable night's sleep.
once you get that right as well, you can, I know what my bed is now really comfortable. It's taken me years to get to that point, because mostly it was like, oh, well, I'll just, I'll crawl into my tent right at the end and, fall asleep, and I'll have a few beers and it won't really matter. And the older I've got, it's more important to me. And it's only in the last sort of 4 or 5 years that I've invested a bit more money in those things. It's not the shiny stuff that I like buying. It's not the stoves. It's not the other things.
Yeah.
But actually, once you've got it, you go, yeah, now I've got it. And I would buy the same thing again if I was going to go, if it got stolen or whatever, I'd go buy the same stuff because it's just perfect for me. So once you do, it's not the sexy stuff, but yeah, you're right. Massively good top tip.
Yeah. Go on then. What's your number 2?
Footprints are worth it.
Oh.
So for those of you that maybe don't know, most tents come with what they call a footprint, a sheet that goes underneath where you pitch it. It's slightly less by a couple of inches width than your tent, so that water doesn't get underneath between your tent and it. But it kind of protects your tent from the worst of you moving about, camp beds on there, chairs on there, whatever. It just protects your tent a little bit more. And for years, when I first found out about them, I was like, well, why would you do that? Because the bottom of the tent's sort of protected and stuff. But yeah, it just really helped. And going back to my first point about take care of your kit, this takes care of your kit an awful lot. I've got my Robins. It's got a lovely bottom to the tent. It's really nice. You
love a lovely bottom.
I love it. Yes, I definitely do. Let's not go any further with that thing. Let's just appreciate it for what it is. Okay, back in the room.
Back in the room.
And yeah, that's got a really plasticky footprint that it costs 30 or 40 pound extra. It's an extra. There's always extras to these things. Never sell them as one. But when I pack away my tent, and one, it gives me a dry surface to pack onto. So if you've had rain over the weekend or whatever, you put your tent down and then you're trying to fold it up on wet bits of whatever. Whereas it gives you something to fold a tent up into. But then when you pull up the footprint, all of the stuff from like worms and the mud and the slugs and all of those things are on the bottom of the footprint. And quite often the footprint's the only thing that I just come home, give it a hose down and put it on the line.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite a good thing. So invest in a footprint. It'll help you out and keep you, keep your gear good. And, I think they're worth the money.
I absolutely agree. That is a really good top tip that most people won't have thought of. It is always an extra, but they're not a massively expensive extra.
No, they're always kind of cheap cuts of fabric, mainly, unless you're, after something that's really lightweight. And yeah, but even if it is, just make sure that it's got, it's slightly less. Because there's a lot of people that make their own. They're quite easy to do with a normal bit of tarpaulin.
Yeah.
But it's just got to be smaller than the footprint of your tent is. Otherwise, if it rains, the rain comes off your tent, onto that, goes underneath your tent. So
yeah, I did. A lot of my tents have got footprints. My little hiking North Face Big Fat Frog tent has got a really, really nice footprint with it. But my bell tents have both got them. I bought the bell tent footprints from the same company that I got the tents from, but the 4 meter one, it's pretty much the same size. So I have to kind of fold it in for that very reason. I fold it in a couple of inches in certain places just to make sure that if it does rain, it doesn't fill up the bottom of the tent with all the underside of the tent with a load of rain. But it's great for when you are packing away a big tent like a 4 meter bell, because actually, as you say, you can fold it up on top of the footprint, which is great because it means you're keeping everything nice and clean. And the only thing that really does get dirty is the footprint itself. So it's well worth it. Well worth it. Toppity tip, Aid. Top tip.
It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Almost.
Almost. Are you
okay? Then Tim.
Sometimes I think you're just AI.
There's a D in there as well, Tim.
Hey. Oh, that's quick. I hadn't thought of that. Oh no. See, now the conspiracy theorist in me is thinking maybe you are AI.
What? Glitching.
No, yeah, now you just look like Max Headroom. Up to date TV references.
Up to date.
So my top of my list, but all of my top tips are of equal importance. Top of my list is pre-cool your cooler, and it's a schoolboy error I've made numerous times myself.
I'm still making that schoolboy error, Tim.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't have the time, or you've forgotten to put your stuff to chill beforehand, or you've not bought enough ice or whatever. Or I've even had to buy beer on the way, and it's surprising having to have a cooler that's pre-cooled and putting warm beer in it really sort of sucks it out.
You put anything warm into, or just room temperature into a chilled cooler will just it's going to take all of that cold and
Laird knows how much us Brits like warm beers.
Warm beers.
To be honest, I mean, I'll put up with anything really, but I do like a chilled one.
Yeah, no. So I now have in the freezer at home, I've got a couple of decent sized freezer blocks that are just permanently in there. So the night before I'm going away, they go into the cool boxes. All the food that's going to go into the cool boxes goes into the fridges. Some of the beers and things get frozen so that they're extra cool packs. But I know that on a morning, the last bit of packing I do is I stock up the cool boxes. They're already pre-cooled because there've been ice blocks in them overnight. All the stuff goes in. The top's up with a load of ice. The lids go on. They don't get opened again until I need to open them when I'm camping. And they just last longer. We did the ice test last year, and we were throwing ice away, at 6-7 days, and it's because we'd pre-cooled them, and we were making sure that we weren't opening them when you really didn't need to. But the most important thing you can do with a cool box, however expensive it is, however much you've spent on it, and these are conventional cool boxes, obviously. Anything that's powered or anything like that, well, you've got to worry about it a bit less. But even so, you should probably pre-cool those as well. But certainly a conventional cool box, it's only got the cold that you've kind of set it up with from the moment you've put that lid down and you're going camping, it's warming up. So if you can have that cool box itself really, really cold, then it's gonna last you longer and look after your food and look after your drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody wants food poisoning from them warm sausages.
No.
That's a really good top tip. Even though I have Yeti and I love Yeti and everybody knows that I love Yeti.
Do you?
I do.
Really?
I do, and I know I'm repeating myself. But I made a really schoolboy error and I couldn't work out why it was letting me down so much this one weekend. And I'd packed my cooler with the underfloor heating on. So it warmed it up. So even though I'd pre-cooled it, everything was gone. And it was like, they hold heat as well to those things.
Yeah, you can put hot things in a cool box and it will keep.
I was like, why is this? Oh, yeah, because I had the underfloor heating on in the kitchen last night. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Schoolboy, I'm still making them, Yeah. Even monkeys learn, Tim. I don't.
That just serves you for having underfloor heating. You posh.
I fitted it myself. So
what's your last one?
My last one, and my alter ego is Pyroade.
Aye.
So it's only right that my last one is everyone should own a blowtorch.
And I totally agree. I love my blowtorch, and when all else fails, get a blowtorch on it.
Well, and this has come from years of, even in the height of summer, if you've burnt all your wood, you have to go to the local store to get some, or a garage or a garage or the petrol station, whatever it is, wherever you are. We all know that wood is the greenest wood going.
Yeah.
And, they're big lumps. They tend not to be sort of the smaller kindling kind of things. And it's just an absolute... How many times have we, over the years, struggled to get a good fire going when you really need it?
Yeah.
And years ago, Snow Peak for me, I saw that they had this thing. I spent a great deal of money on it to import it from America because I'm so old that it was before the internet type of things. Not quite, but and
brought here by dog sled.
But it was the fact that we'd been camping, it had been a cold night, and we just couldn't get a fire going particularly well. And I was just like, I'm not going to suffer that again. And so blowtorch is, you don't need firelighters. You just, get it going. Works with a barbecue. If you've got any of the briquettes and stuff.
It's really good for getting charcoal going to a decent temperature. You're not hanging around for that.
How many times have people... I was at home once and the guy next door went, I don't suppose charcoal's gone out. I don't suppose you've got anything. I was like, yes, I do. Excuse me. There's the blowtorch. They were like, I love that. Where can I get one? I went, well...
like Leonardo DiCaprio coming out of the shed at the end of Once Upon a Time in America with his blowtorch.
I think it's such a, and I like lighting fires any other way. I've got fire lighters, I've got matches, I've got lighters, I've got fat wood to help it get going. I've got lots of things. I've got flint and steel. I've got all of those things. Sometimes You just want to get a fire on because you want to get some water boiling, you make some food. You don't have that time to go, boom, blowtorch, boom.
Blowtorch.
And you can get them from, really sort of cheap ones. I bought one for helping me work, £7 off Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, you
Little
know,
culinary ones for the kitchen and stuff.
they work a treat. I had that before I was gifted the very nice Snow Peak one, and they work a treat. They're absolutely brilliant. The Snow Peak one's got a great sound though. It's got a brilliant sound to it. It is impressive. But we used it to finish off pizzas. It's good for your camping stuff as well, for your cooking stuff.
Yeah, really, really good piece of kit, and has saved me a number of times. Certainly winter camping when the wood is a little bit damper, to get that going. Just, at any time of year, I think it's just something that, boom, it just works. I'm so glad I've had it. I make sure that I bring it with me every time I go. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't have the handle that yours does.
No, mine had an upgrade because obviously any sort of gas canister flamethrower, the canister tends to get really cold, doesn't it, quite quickly when you're burning it. So they added a nice wooden handle to it, and it's great. But it is a piece of kit that comes on every camping trip with me. It is an essential piece of kit, and it could be the gateway piece of kit for some people because it's not cheap, but it's not massively expensive, and that could be your gateway piece to further upgrades. Who knows? Who knows?
Assimilation, Tim. Assimilation.
Oh god! Should we head over for a minute mindfulness, and then we'll come back and have another bit of a chat.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
Oh, very nice. That's stuff that you recorded on your trip down in Devon.
Yeah, you've been doing quite a few of those recordings, and I didn't have the equipment, but my new phone seemed to pick it up very well.
All of the minute mindfulness that I've recorded out in the field is just on the phone. As long as you can, as long as you can protect the wind from kind of whistling past it, it picks up the sound really well. They're really lovely. The ones that you recorded, they will be used. It
reminds me of where I was.
Hi. So I suppose it just leaves us to kind of run through the usual stuff of make sure you check out our socials, and we're mainly on Instagram and Facebook, but we are also posting more things on YouTube. We've got our Facebook group, Casual Camping Podcast, of which there's the very, very healthy chat in there. We've already given you the warning; it will make you spend money. Wherever you're listening to this at the moment, please just take 2 seconds after the episode and just press 5 stars, because it really helps with the algorithm to get us seen by more people, and we just want to grow the show. And send us some social shout outs, send us your mediocre 5-star reviews, and you can do that either with a direct message on our socials, or there's a link in the show notes to this episode that you can send us a message straight to us. and keep camping, everybody. Have a nice time. Just get yourself out there and enjoy life,
Yeah. And final thing, let us know what your top tips are. Have a little think. Put it on the socials and press that subscribe button.
Oh yeah, cool. Thank you very much. We will talk to you next week. I've been Tim.
And I've been Tim.
No, you're not.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.